Hi everybody, my name is Elizabeth Ma and this is my EIGC presentation for this week. And so I know that EIGC presentations focus on connection and sharing a part of ourselves to other people. And when I was thinking about what to make for this presentation, one question that I really asked myself was, what makes me me? So how do I show you guys who I am and my identity, and how do I connect with you guys through that, right? And to just keep this in mind as I go through this presentation, like this is a very basic, very simplified answer to this question. It's super, super complex, lots of philosophical and very different ideas. But before I get into the answer, let me share a little bit about myself. So the first thing that I want to share is a little bit about my culture. And so even though I'm born in America, I am not American. So my grandparents, they came from China, moved to Indonesia to escape a war, and then eventually came over to America. And what they brought with them was their experiences, their stories of sacrifice, but then also their Chinese culture, right? And I think it's really important that my family continues to honor that every single year, and we especially do that with Chinese New Year. And in America, or I guess all over the world, I'm not really sure, but in America, it's more traditional to celebrate just regular New Year's, which happens on January 1st. But for Chinese New Year, we celebrate it in February. And one of the traditions that my family has, it's different for every family, but for my family is we go to my grandparents' house, and my extended family, my cousins from Indonesia and from China and from America, we all come to my grandparents' house. So it's like 30 to 40 people in one house. It's kind of hectic. But we all sit around the table and we start making dumplings. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're my grandma. It doesn't matter if you're my 4-year-old brother. You're going to have a part in making these dumplings that are homemade. And it's really a time of community and to connect with each other. And the one day of the year where my whole family gets together and we're able to celebrate all the sacrifice that my grandparents have made and celebrate the fact that we're going into a new year. And one of the things is that we put like beans in our dumplings. And so if you get a dumpling with a bean, you get a hongbao, which is like red envelope in English. And the red envelope has like money inside. How much depends on the person who wants to give it to you. But traditionally in my family, it's about $100, so I really like finding the dumplings with red bean in them. And then the next day, so we have a 2-day thing for Chinese New Year. We go out to eat dim sum, which is the picture on the right. It's an assortment of different Chinese foods that we all get to eat and sit around the table. And so this is a really big part of my culture. It's a way for me to celebrate where I came from or where my grandparents came from and their sacrifice to bring them to America, and then also celebrating the new year and the freedom that their sacrifice has given us. And so the second thing that I want to talk about is my passions. And so you see in the top left and top right, there's two pictures. One of them is me playing basketball. The other one is me playing volleyball. These are two sports that I really, really love playing, that I've committed a lot of time to, right? And I think that I've also given me some of my deepest and most valuable relationships I've had in my high school career. And the middle three pictures are pictures that kind of show my academic passions. So the middle three, I suppose. So the one on the left is writing and the one on the right is reading. And then in the middle, there's a picture of all these different flags. And these kind of represents my love for reading and for writing, but then also my love or my passion and my interest and my curiosity for how international rules, regulations, and policies are made, how the people in charge of basically our world are making their rules and how they prioritize things like that. And that's really what's brought me here. That's what's so special about YRV, the fact that I get to bring my love for reading and my love for writing together into one. And then also there's this international aspect to it, which I really, really, really love. And the third thing that I wanted to talk about is my relationships. And these are people that have supported me, that have a really big impact, and whose advice and opinions that I would take seriously and consider in my own life. So in the middle is a picture of my family. I have a 7-person family. I have 4 younger brothers, so I'm the oldest in my family. And our house gets kind of hectic, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And they've been a really, really big part of my life, and I love every single one of them, even if they make me mad sometimes. And then in the top left and the top right, those are my basketball teams. So people that I've labored next to, people that I guess you could call it physical turmoil, lots of running, lots of conditioning, lots of bonding through that. And then the two other pictures are pictures of my friends outside of my family and outside of my sports. And these are just relationships and people whose opinions and whose advice have shaped myself and helped me grow into the person that I am today. And so the last thing that I want to talk about is my aspiration. So what I want to do in the future. And these three pictures are ones that I found on Pinterest, but because, well, it hasn't happened. And so what I want to do in the future is I want to become a political, like an international lawyer kind of. So someone who speaks up for rules, regulations, and policies that I feel are unjust or that are not right or that should change, right? So this means like making amendments, making changes to international rules and policies. And I feel that I'm someone who has a very strong sense of ethics, very strong sense of black and white, what's right and wrong. And I think my love for reading and my love for writing, which actually started when I was younger. So I used to really love reading nonfiction or fictional books, so like Harry Potter and Magic Tree House. But now, as I've grown older and my curiosities have developed, I've also developed a love for reading nonfiction, which I used to really, really not like before. And I think these passions and my experiences have really shaped my aspirations and what I want to do in the future. And so becoming a lawyer who's able to speak up for rules and regulations that I feel are unjust or that need to be changed is something that I would really love to do in the future. And so this brings me back to my original question. So what makes me me? Again, a very, very complex question that I'm going to attempt to answer, but my answer is very simplified. And I am the sum of my culture. So the fact that I'm Chinese American, that my grandparents came from China and Indonesia and brought that culture with them and their strength and their perseverance with them. I'm the sum of my culture and my passions, my love for my sports, for reading and writing, and for international politics, my relationships, my family, my friends, my mentors, every person who's impacted me and helped me grow and shaped the actions that I take, they're part of my identity. And then fourth and finally is my aspiration. So what I want to do in the future. And you'll see that these four things kind of sum up the past, the present, and the future. So culture is my background, who I am, who I came from, who has paved the way for me to be, and for me to enjoy the freedom that I have today. And then the second and third ones, passion and relationships. What passions do I have right now? And what relationships are impacting me right now? And then fourth is aspirations. It's the future. It's what do I want to do in the future? And how have the first three impacted who I want to be in the future? And so I would like to say that I'm a Chinese American who loves playing sports and who loves reading and writing and is passionate about international politics, who is influenced by her family, her friends, her mentors, and who wants to become someone who is able to help those who are unheard in international politics and really bring a sense of justice. And thank you. I hope you guys learned a little bit about me through my presentation. Thank you so much.